Hi, my name is Jennifer and I am the owner of Rested Development Sleep Consulting. And today I wanted to talk to you about the time change. We have the time change coming up March 12th, and it's probably one of the most common concerns that I hear about in the spring and in the fall. It can, depending on the age of the child, it can be quite disruptive. And this year it's spring. We're springing forward, so we are going to lose an hour of sleep. So I put together two spreadsheets on the gradual ways that you can help your baby adjust to the time change. So the first one is the pre-daylight savings time change, and I'm going to have these spreadsheets posted on my website so you can download them and have a better look for yourself, because the examples here, they will change, of course, depending on your child's schedule. As we get further into it, you'll notice that all of the changes are made in 15-minute increments. And the reason why I do that is because up until about a year old, most babies, their wake windows are quite short. And so, especially for the 6-month and younger, 15 minutes can really make or break how easy it is for you to put your child to sleep for their nap or bedtime. They very quickly become overtired, which then leads to a harder time going to sleep. So I like to work in 15-minute increments so that the child doesn't get to that overtired stage. And that's how I have structured these two changes. So the first one, and I'm going to get a little bit closer here so that you can see it. So the first one is the gradual pre-daylight savings change here. I'm just going to come around. There we go. So again, it will change depending on your child's schedule, how many naps they're having, how many nighttime feedings they're having, etc. But this is enough to give you a good idea. So wake up time, for example, is 6 a.m., first nap around 9, second nap around 1:30, bedtime around 7, and then night feeding around 3 a.m. What we're going to do is we're going to change the schedule. We're going to move it ahead in 15-minute increments so that on the time change, when we change the clock forward, they are now at the proper adjusted time. So as you can see, March 9th, we've bumped the schedule up by 15 minutes. So you will actually you'll have to wake your child up 15 minutes early, but this is doing it in increments is better than having to wake them up a whole hour early if you wait until March 12th. So as you can see, we wake them up at 5:45, and then we just continue with the 45-minute increments throughout the day, 8:45 a.m., 1:15 p.m., 6:45 bedtime, and then a 2:45 night feeding. And again, you might have to actually wake your child up for that. And continues through for March 10th and 11th. And then on March 12th, we are at their time. The child's time is 5 a.m., but we change the clocks forward, so it becomes the adjusted time of 6 a.m., and we're back to their previous schedule. So the opposite is true for the post-gradual daylight savings time change. So in this case, you would wait till the daylight savings the clocks have changed, and then you're going to work to getting your child back to their regular schedule. So if their regular schedule on March 11th was 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 1:30, 7, and 3, when the clocks change, it then becomes 7, 10, 2:30, 8, and 4 a.m. Now, depending on if you're a morning person or what your child's actual schedule is like, this may work in your favor. You may want to keep the new schedule. And if you do that, then what I would recommend is that you make sure to keep the bedtime at the later adjusted time. If you start trying to bump bedtime up to 7 o'clock again, that's when you're going to your child's going to go back to their earlier 6 a.m. wake up. So if you're tending towards trying to keep the 7 a.m. wake up, then I would say stay with the 8 p.m. bedtime. But if you for whatever reason, if you need your child back at the regular schedule, then these are the 15-minute increments that you would use to get your child back to the 6 a.m. start. And again, I'll have these posted on my website so that you can download them and have a better look for yourself. Now the third change is the immediate change. And of course, that's it's exactly as it sounds. You wait till the time change, and then on the day that the clocks, or the morning that the clocks have changed, you wake your child up an hour early. This can work okay depending on the personality of the child or the age of the child. For the day that you wake them up, they're up an hour earlier. So just like us, we'll be tired for that day, but it may not be, the end of the world. If the child is between a year and 2 years old, waking them up an hour early, especially if they have maybe one nap throughout the day, you might notice that the nap is maybe half an hour earlier than it would be according to the clock. But again, giving them a couple days, they should be back to their regular routine based on the clock. That's about it. Some other tips that I would generally recommend to help deal with the time change, because it is a change, right? So, just give yourself a little bit of leeway, give yourself a little bit of time to get your child back onto the routine that you've probably worked so hard to get. You will get there. It may take a week, it may take 2 weeks until they're fully back to the regular predictable routine, but you will get there. So some things that you can also do to help the transition are get outside, get a lot of sunshine in the morning. You can use blackout curtains at night, are a really great way to make sure that the child knows, because again, we're going to have adjusted hours of daylight. So blackout curtains can often help, especially if you have a child that's going to bed earlier. And white noise is a really great one to help block out some of the sounds of the traffic or whatever, because again, it's the hours have changed. So those are my tips on how to deal with the time change. If you have any questions about this or anything else sleep related, please let me know. You can get in touch with me on Facebook at Rested Development, or through my website at www.resteddevelopment.com. You're welcome to send me an email or a private message or text message. My phone number is up there as well. Thank you, and have a great day.